Hello, my name is. Oops. Okay. Hello. For the last part of a rational function, we will now have the graphing of a rational function. So upon graphing the irrational function, we first have to identify the domain, which it is the set of the first coordinate. Second one is you have to identify the intercept. So the intercepts is either x or y coordinates of the points at which graph crosses the x or y axis respectively. So a y-intercept is a y coordinate of the point where the graph crosses the y-axis, while the x-intercept is the x-coordinate of the point where graph crosses the x-axis. So these are the important points that you need to remember. So these are the things that you will look for or you will find at a rational function. Next is an asymptote. So an asymptote is a straight line where the graph can be close but will never touch. Remember this one. It can only be close but it will never touch. So, kung meron kang, halimbawa kung ito ang iyong asymptote, halimbawa lang, kunyari straight yan, kasi ito yung x and y axis, yung Cartesian plane, tapos andito yung asymptote banda. Kung ang graph mo ay downwards, tapos sa asymptote, magko-close lang siya na magko-close, pero hindi siya pwedeng mag-touch. So, yun yung asymptote. Ngayon, meron tayong dalawang klase ng asymptote. We have the vertical asymptotes. So, this is a restriction of the domain of a reduced rational function. So, pag sinabi natin vertical asymptote, ito yung parallel with the y-axis. Since vertical, patayo. Yun, vertical asymptote. So, once again, if we have this one, a vertical asymptote is the line parallel with the y-axis. So, yung graph, it's pwedeng ganito ang nangyari. Maputol siya dito sa part na to. Magko-close siya dyan. Or pababa na lang siya ng pababa. At dudugtong siya sa kabila. Or pwedeng wala na yung kabila. And so on. So, to find its value, you just need to equate the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. So, kaya siya ang naging vertical asymptote. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng rational equation ay merong vertical asymptote kasi yun yung point kung saan si rational function is mag-equal sa 0. Eh di ba pag nag-equal sa 0, ibig sabihin siya ay undefined. So, to get the vertical asymptote, yun lang yung point kung saan magiging undefined si rational function. So, tandaan natin, na ang kinukuha natin is yung para maiwasan lang natin siya maging undefined. Kulang pala, undefined. So, once again, to find its value, equate the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. So, for example, we have 2 over x plus 5 is equal to f(x) or the function. the function of 2 over x plus 5. So kung hahanapin natin si vertical asymptote, kunin lang natin si denominator. So you have x plus 5 and then equate it with 0. So you have to transpose. So x is equal to negative 5. So the vertical asymptote of this function is x is negative 5. So pagdating sa negative 5, doon na makikita. So kung halimbawa kung ito yung given, kung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ito yung point kung saan si graph ay hindi pwedeng mag-touch. Next,
the horizontal asymptote. So the horizontal asymptote is the horizontal line where the graph will never touch. So kung ito si Cartesian plane, we have this line as our horizontal asymptote. So ito yung parallel with the x-axis. At ito yung part kung saan yung graph hindi siya pwede mag-touch. So to get the horizontal asymptote, we need to compare the degrees of n of x and the denominator, the d of x, in n of x over d of x, wherein ang possible values ni n is a sub n times x raised to n plus a sub n minus 1 times x raised to n minus 1 up to a sub 1 times x plus a sub 0. Same together with d of x, where n stands for the numerator, the d stands for denominator, a, ito mga a na to, is the coefficient of the numerator, n is the exponent of the numerator, b is the coefficient of the denominator, and m is the exponent of the denominator. So, ito yung general form ng rational function. Kung saan ay ang a is pwedeng maging any number, si x is the coefficient, and then si n is pwede rin kahit maging anong number. Yan yung nagkakaroon ka ng x squared plus 3x plus 2. Halimbawa lang. So, si a ay 1, so you have x. Tapos si n, si 2. So you have n plus a x plus 2. So kung tulad lang natin siya sa general form, ito lang din ang itsura niya sa a sub 0. Pero ito lang din yon. Okay. So, napaka-importanting malaman natin kung ano tong general form ng isang rational function kasi ito yung gagamitin natin to get the horizontal asymptote. Kindly remember what n, d, small letter a, small letter n, small letter b, and small letter m stands for. So, it is very important in getting the horizontal asymptote because we have 3 different conditions. So, 1, 2, 3. So, sa unang condition natin, if n is less than m, or the exponent of the numerator is less than the exponent of the denominator, then the graph of the function as the line y is equal to 0 as the horizontal asymptote. Ibig sabihin, if we have x plus 1 in the numerator, tapos pagdating sa denominator, ang highest exponent na makikita mo is squared, samantalang dito, 1 lang, or hindi natin siya sinusulat, ibig sabihin, n is less than m. So, the exponent, yun yung titignan natin sa condition A. Na kapag mas malaki ang exponent ng denominator kaysa numerator, ibig sabihin, we have 0 as the horizontal asymptote. Pangalawa, if n is equal to m, then the graph of the line y is equal to a sub n over b sub m as the horizontal asymptote, where a sub n and b sub m are the leading coefficient of the numerator and the denominator respectively. So halimbawa naman, we have 2x plus 5x plus 4 over 3x squared plus 3x plus 2. So, kapag tinignan naman natin yung exponent ng leading coefficient na meron tayo, tapos equal naman si n tsaka si m or yung exponent nilang dalawa, ang titignan natin is the leading coefficient, which is 2 over 3. Ngayon, si 2 over 3 na ang ating horizontal asymptote. The last one, if mas malaki naman si n kaysa m, halimbawa we have x squared plus 5 over x minus 5. If mas malaki si exponent ni numerator kaysa denominator, so mas malaki si squared kaysa kay 1, ibig sabihin, we do not have horizontal asymptote. So these are the three conditions of finding the asymptote. Again, kapag mas malaki si exponent ng numerator kaysa denominator na horizontal asymptote. Kapag equal, kukunin si leading coefficient. At kapag less than ang exponent ni numerator kay denominator, then meron tayong 0 as the horizontal asymptote, or ang horizontal asymptote natin mismo is the x-axis. To continue, we also have the oblique or slant asymptote. So if this is the Cartesian plane, nagkakaroon din tayo ng pagkakataon na ang asymptote natin is pag ganito, pa-slant. Kaya siya tinawag na slant or oblique asymptote. So oblique occurs when the numerator of the f of x has the degree that is 1 higher than the degree of the denominator. So to obtain it, divide the numerator by the denominator using long division or synthetic division. So the oblique asymptote is the quotient with the remainder ignored and set equal to y. So, kapag kukuha naman tayo ng oblique or slant asymptote, ito, gagamitin natin yung pinag-aralan nyo last school year ng grade 10, long division and synthetic division. Tapos, we have to ignore the remainder and set equal to y. So, kung ano yung matitira, isi-set mo lang siya. I-set mo lang si y as 0. Lastly, the zeros of a rational function. So, in the fraction n over d, so d must not be equal to 0 since division by 0 is undefined. So, para makuha mo lang si zeros of the rational function, parang kinukuha mo lang din si X-intercept. Yan. Doon mo lang makikita kung saan yung mag-zero si rational function. Kung saan lang yung moment na siya ay magiging undefined. Kaya, it's the same with getting the X-intercept. So, for example, let's start with this one. So, we have f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 8x minus 3 all over 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. So, remember, di ba? If we have the exponent na squared, the best is to find the factor muna if meron. So, kagaya nito, ang factor nito is 3x plus 1 times x minus 3 over 2x minus 1 times x plus 4. So, pinactor out natin siya kasi itong dalawang to ang gagamitin natin to find the intercepts, the vertical and horizontal asymptote. So, for you to find the Y-intercept, again, the Y-intercept, isi-set lang natin. So, Y-intercept. So, gawin lang natin 0 si x. F of 0 is equal to 3 times 0 squared minus 8 times 0 minus 3 over 2 times 0 raised squared minus 7 raised times 0 minus 4. So, in short, ang matitira na lang natin is negative 3, 4. Kasi parehas naman siyang 0. So, we have 3, 4 as our Y-intercept. Bakit siya nag-positive? Kasi parehas po siyang negative. So, negative divided by negative is positive. That's why, sa 3/4, mag-i-intercept si Y. Next, you have to get the x-intercept or the zeros of the function. So, to get the zeros of the function, i-equate lang natin siya sa 0, yung numerator. So, we have 3x plus 1, equate mo sa 0. Tapos si x minus 3, equate mo lang din sa 0. So, pag in-equate mo yung sa 0, transpose 1 divided by 3 para mawala. So, magkakaroon ka ng x is equal to negative 1/3. So, pag tinranspose mo yung positive 1, magiging negative 1, i-divide mo sa 3, mukha mo si 1/3. Pangalawa naman, x is equal to positive 3 kasi itatranspose mo lang si 3. So, the x-intercept or the zeros of the function is negative 1/3 and then 3. Next, to find the vertical asymptote, so the vertical asymptote, kunin mo naman si denominator. So, you have 2x minus 1. Iset pa siya sa 0. Si 4, si x plus 4, equate mo din siya sa 0. So, 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then, transpose, divided by 2. So, pag tinranspose mo si negative 1, magiging positive 1. Pag dinivide mo both side by 2, magiging 2. So, ang una niyang vertical asymptote is sa 1/2. Yung pangalawa naman, transpose mo, x plus 4, transpose 4. So, ang pangalawa naman is sa negative 4. So, meron tayong dalawang vertical asymptote. Last, to get the horizontal asymptote, diba, i-check natin, less than ba si numerator kaysa denominator? Hindi, kasi para siyang 2. Greater than ba si numerator kay denominator? Hindi rin. Equal siya. So, therefore, ang susundin natin is yung principle ni B wherein kapag equal, yung dalawang exponent, yung leading exponent na may leading coefficient, ang kahanapin natin is ito mismo, si leading coefficient. So, we have 3 halves. So, the horizontal asymptote is 3 divided by 2 or 3 halves. So, siya na agad si horizontal asymptote. So, kapag ginraph mo yan, graph natin. Halimbawa lang, kunyari lang straight yan. Kunyari, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. So, ilagay mo muna si asymptotes kay 1/2 dito. Si 1/2. Si negative 4. 2, 3, 4. Ayan. Tapos ilagay mo si horizontal asymptotes kay 3, 2. Si 3, 2 is 1.5. So, ito. Yan na yung mga asymptote. So, kapag Y-intercept ay kay 3/4. 1. Dito siya banda. 3/4. Yan. Sabihin, dadaan dito yung line. Sa X-intercept, dadaan siya sa 1/3. At saka sa 3. So, kung dadaan siya sa 1/3 tsaka sa 3, malamang yung graph natin pag ganon. Tapos, putol.